Hi everyone, Marie from Intuitive Healing, Katikati, Western Bay, New Zealand. I'm just going to give you a little update on the journey my cat had the other morning, just to give you an idea of what the journey for animals is about. It all happened quite spontaneously in that it was my daughter's birthday, and I was thinking of my daughter, and the cat came and snuggled up on the bed and was sort of making some noises, talking to me, and I'm, doing that. Are you okay? What's going on? And then started hearing things. So the way that I work and the way that the journey works is if you are. It's probably easier to just tell you the journey, and you can make up your mind whether I'm Lula or not. Because I don't care. I'm just going to tell you what happened. So this is how it happened, is beautiful Pepper came, hopped on the bed, was comforting me, but also I could sense was a little bit upset. And when I asked what was happening and words started coming, I just thought, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do a journey with you. So in consciousness, which is telepathic, okay, all mothers who have had a baby grow inside them will know the telepathic bond that you have with a baby. It's just an animal instinct. It's one of our senses, okay, and it can be sharpened when you're having a baby, and it can be dulled if your lifestyle is dumbing it down and shutting it off, and you've never really strengthened that muscle. But it is a human sense, okay, telepathy. It's intuition at its greatest, really. And it's not hearing necessarily, it's kind of, you can know things in pictures and words and feelings and a combination of all of those things. It's just having a strong muscle of interpreting the messages that make it clearer for the person receiving. So I'm very clear, having been a telepath all my life, strengthened by the fact that I was adopted at birth, so that had to stretch my telepathy between mother and child was stretched. She didn't live with me, but yet we were picking up on each other, and when we met in person, we were able to feed back some memories and feelings and thoughts and actually check them off, going, oh my gosh, I actually got that message, or oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly what happened in my life, and how did you know? Okay, these are the unbreakable bonds between mother and child. That's just one strong telepathic connection, but we do it with friends, we do it when we fall in sync with girlfriends, we do it when we just have a neighbor that we can just pick up on strangers. You can pick up on your relationship. It's just whether you're using it or not. So me and the cat, I just asked, what is going on? Let's bring it to a campfire. I'll just show you my beautiful fire burning away there. So you imagine a campfire, you bring to the fire a younger you. And in this case, the picture I got was the cat leaving when we went to pick her up as a kitten, and we brought her back. And Darcy, my son, was so excited to have a little kitten that he chose, and we were trying to reassure her and settle her into the home. That was the picture I was getting. And of course, the cat's new to the area and new to this place, and you take your time and you do your best to settle her in. But what was actually coming out from the younger kitten, the Pepper that I was seeing in my third eye, and hearing and feeling all of these kind of like knowings and words, was the absolute terror and the separation that she was feeling, having been uplifted and taken in a car to God knows where, and then when she got here, not having her mother. So she'd actually carried and held on to, because she didn't know how to let it go. Okay, and this is the thing, is that until somebody knows how to let something go, people just accumulate these emotions, and they build up and build up and build up. And Pepper's behavior was getting quite like she was hissing and sort of scratching, and you know, and sometimes it can be their health, and we don't know why, but this is what was coming out. So Pepper was sharing with me, going through the visuals of all of that, and then giving me the feelings and the sensations, and I could really feel, and it brought tears to my eye of just her not knowing what was going to happen, and and obviously having love and cuddles with us was lovely, but still, where is my mum? What has happened? Why am I not with my mum? And just confusion. And so then I started helping her to empty out the words, and again I use me as a surrogate, so the energy comes to me and out comes the words. They're not mine, they're Pepper's. I'm giving a voice to it. So the frequencies are coming, they're making words and pictures, and I speak them out into the fire as if to throw them away and get them out of her body. And so this is the journey, this is how we do it. And out was coming. I was speaking, but I was listening, if you know what I mean. I was listening to what was being given to me and shown. And so out comes the story of that. And then fast forward to another picture, and she was showing me that she'd given birth to these beautiful kittens, and very shortly, in a short space of 6 weeks or whatever, we had found homes for all those kittens, bar one. We kept one, and slowly they started disappearing, and we did our very best to communicate. Darcy was really sensitive to Pepper, and it was beautiful, but even still, Pepper was showing me the loss of those kittens, and the shock, and just the searching, looking, thinking that something had taken them, some harm had come. And she started to have, just as you would imagine a mother, a human, to have guilt of like, what have I done? Where have they gone? Have I failed, and are they at harm because of me? What has happened to them? No answers, nobody giving any answers that made any sense to her, and just having this emptiness inside, this real loss, and it was really triggering her grief of being taken from her mum. And so this was sort of building up and building up, and she started to detach from the kitten that stayed here. She was sort of, she knew that kitten was here, and so obviously it was here, but she was running around in her mind trying to look for these, and physically look for these other ones. And we saw her too, because it was stormy, wintry time when they were given away, and she was, every time the storm came, she was worried, and we could see that she was looking for her babies and hoping that they were safe. And so in this journey memory, Pepper was really sharing that she had this feeling that her children, wherever they were, would be feeling that Pepper had abandoned them, and she was beside herself with the helplessness of so this goes against anything you might think, that animals don't have feelings, and that they just deal with it in an animalistic way, and maybe they do, but this is what was happening for my cat. And so we got words emptied out into the fire, like it just like I do with a human. It was all the emotions, as you can imagine, of guilt and fear and confusion and anger and helplessness and all these kinds of things. So I was putting them out into the fire, and I was crying because I started connecting with her, And as I was emptying and I was patting her, she got there was a relief coming over her, because we were then able to bring the babies back into consciousness, and they were, this is the energy body, the soul of the kittens, and we were reconnecting with them, and they were snuggling in around Pippa. And so we also had her mother come. This was all spontaneous. We just welcomed the family back, and then before you know, I could see it in my mind's eye, and Pippa was just purring and happy and contented that her mother was there in consciousness, her babies were there in consciousness, and that there's no separation in consciousness. That means soul to soul connection. Okay, in physicality, they're not there, right? But to rekindle and reestablish a soul connection means that they're never not with you in the heart. Okay, this is truly what we can do, is close our eyes and be connected. Even if we're far away from our children across the other side of the world, there is this energetic connection that means you're never separated. And so this was beautiful. This was unfolding in front of me, and I could see Pippa feeling such a relief and a strength that an acceptance was starting to happen, and that this connection was true, and that she could feel I could feel so much lift off her being, and this joy and this peace that was happening, that she was connected with her family. And so then there was a big forgiveness of her mother. There was a big and words were spoken between her and her mother. And her mother got to empty out into the fire. Everybody, the babies, they all had conversation, and it all came through my mouth. So I was just the surrogate voice that could put the words into the fire and discharge the energy that was sitting inside of Pippa, that was also sitting inside of her mother, and that was also sitting inside of her babies. And so everybody got emptied, and Pippa was feeling so much peace. And then I could really feel that it was me getting a little bit sort of triggered into that of what was mine, not hers, but mine. And it was my daughter's birthday, and she was in Perth, and she was working and unable to really have a conversation. And so I was able to talk into the fire and get all of my feelings out for missing my daughter and anything I needed to say. And so this is how it is in a family with animals, is that animals can be triggered by what's going on for you, and you can also be triggered by what's going on for them. And so much of it can be unconscious, meaning subconscious, meaning underneath the conscious awareness. And so, but still, it can drive your behavior, it can drive your health, it can drive your numbness and your disassociation. It can show up in different ways for you, or all of those ways for you. Anyway, long story short, we all got emptied into the fire. Pippa fell into a deep sleep of healing, and then the baby, the one that's here, came in and toe dipped onto the bed like, now can I come? And there's the baby. She knows we're talking about her. Hey, Bubba. And so that baby was also able to put into the fire, hey, I've been here the whole time, and I've needed a mother, and you've been, hissing and spitting and everything. And Pippa was able to say, that's because I felt unworthy, because I'd lost my babies. I'd essentially harmed my babies. The other ones, we don't know what happened to them. And so once that was all sort of calmed down, the two are a lot more close. The prayer of that one over there was to be close again to her mum. And so it's starting slowly to happen, that Pippa is allowing the little one to come closer again. So this is the journey of unification, and we can't have peace until we empty the angers, the sadnesses, the frustrations, the helplessness, the guilt. All of that is sitting on top of your peace, on top of your harmony. You can't feel it truly. It's like it's sitting underneath all of the emotions. And so to empty them and to discharge them is the most healthiest advice I can give to you. You just imagine a campfire, bring whoever you need to have there, and then speak it out. There's a lot more I can teach you if you want to know more. Give me a text 022 5345 220 or messenger me, and we can get you on your inner journeys. And if you've got animals that are going through something, physical health, mental health, emotional health, behavior, let's just see, there's no harm in having me do it remotely, or by video, or in person. So there you go. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your open mind.